The Moto Z3 Play is a mid-range phone through and through. It is part of the Moto Z family, which means that it's got magnetic connectors on the back that can accept mods of all sorts, be those cases, battery packs, or anything else. What makes the Z3 Play special is that it comes with a mod in the box. This is an extra battery pack that will take the phone to 2 days of battery life on a single charge. You can set the battery to keep your phone at 100% or to keep your phone at 80%, but you'll get a little bit longer life if you keep it at 80%. I was able to do pretty much everything on the phone with the battery pack on. One thing I will say about the mod though is that it's not very attractive. The back of the phone is pretty sleek, it's glass, it looks really nice, but it looks a little half finished when you don't have something on top of it. When you put the mod on it, it snaps on easily like all the mods do, and it starts working instantly, but it feels a little bit bulky, and the backing, which was glass and pretty nice, now has this like semi-plastic, semi-rubbery feel, and it doesn't pick up fingerprints. I like that, but it just doesn't really feel that nice. This definitely looks and feels like a mid-range device. Unlike last year's Moto Z2 Play, the Z3 Play loses the headphone jack, which is a bummer. It's got this USB-C connector, which is standard, but if you want to use your own wired headphones, you're going to have to buy a dongle. One thing I do like about the design is the fingerprint reader on the right side of the phone. At first I thought it was really awkward because I hold the phone lower, so I was sort of lunging my thumb up to unlock it, but even after a couple days, it just became second nature. Let's talk about the cameras. There's a dual camera setup on the back. You've got a 12 megapixel lens and a 5 megapixel lens. You can take portrait shots. All the photos were pretty much middle of the road in all sorts of lighting conditions, indoors, outdoors, portrait, group shots, low light, you name it. All of the photos are totally usable, sharing them with friends directly, uploading them to social media, but these are not the kinds of pictures that you're going to want to use to print onto a mug, for example. There's an 8 megapixel front-facing camera for all of your selfies. It does a pretty decent job. There is a beauty mode, and then there's also an automatic mode if you don't want to manually adjust. I've always been a really big fan of Motorola's take on Android. This phone comes with Android 8.0, and the Motorola UI is one that I just find really easy and nice to work with. One example is the one-handed button navigation. At the bottom of the screen, instead of seeing 3 buttons to navigate around, go home, go back, pull up recents, etc., there's one slider button, and you do everything with this. So you can press and hold to pull up Google Assistant, you slide to the left to go back, and you slide to the right to get your recent apps. I think it's really seamless, it's fluid, it was easy for me to pick up and use right away. It's kind of like a better version of what Google is showing with Android P, so I do like that. It's totally opt-in, so it's not there by default, and if you try it and don't like it, you can always switch back to the stock navigation. I like the Moto Z3 Play, but I don't love it, and part of that comes down to price. I do love the value add of having this add-on battery pack that comes in the box, but when you look at some of the competition for about the same price, you're looking at the OnePlus 6, even last year's LG G6, and those phones are they're faster, they're better, they do more. So until the price comes down, I say go with one of those. When it drops, this will definitely become a better value mid-range offering.